I killed my best friend today. Not with a gun or a knife, nothing that messy, but with a single email attachment that unraveled his empire like a house of cards in a hurricane. He deserved it, though. After what he did to me, to Mom, to everything I bled for. And the craziest part? I'm not even me anymore. Not really. One wrong night in a black site lab. And now I'm staring out of eyes that aren't mine, plotting moves in a body that feels like a stolen Ferrari, sleek, powerful, but wired all wrong. It started 6 months ago, back when life was just a grind in the Windy City, Chicago's concrete jungle chewing up dreamers like me. I was Marley Hayes, 32, a mid-level actuary at Vanguard Health Partners, crunching numbers to keep insurance premiums from bankrupting families like mine. Mom's lung cancer hit like a freight train, stage 3, aggressive, the kind that doesn't give a damn about your HMO copays. Her treatments were slated to cost $150,000 out of pocket, even with her crappy policy. I couldn't let that happen. Not after Dad bailed when I was 10, leaving her to sling coffee at O'Hare just to keep the lights on. So I did what any loyal son would. I hacked the system. Not some Hollywood bullshit with exploding servers, but quiet, surgical. I'd always been good with code, taught myself Python in community college to game the actuarial models. One late night, fueled by Red Bull and rage, I slipped into Vanguard's backend. Redirected funds from the executive slush pile, the one reserved for consulting fees to golf buddies. Shaved off $127,000 without a trace. Funneled it straight to Mom's oncology account at Rush University Medical Center. Anonymous donor, they called it. Mom got her chemo, her radiation, her immunotherapy, all on the house. She went into remission last spring. Hugged me so tight I thought her ribs would crack, whispering, "You're my miracle, kid." That should have been the end of it. Hero's son saves the day. But heroes don't last long in this town. Enter Ethan Caldwell, my best friend since we were snot-nosed kids dodging cops in Pilsen. Ethan, the golden boy who clawed his way to VP of Operations at Vanguard while I toiled in the cubicle trenches. Sharp as a stiletto, with that trust fund smirk and a Rolodex full of Chicago's elite, aldermen, CEOs, the occasional mobbed-up contractor. We were brothers, or so I thought. Shared beers at Murphy's Bleachers after Cubs games, covered for each other's bad dates. He even stood up at my wedding to Lena, toasting us like we were invincible. Lena. God, she was the real knife twist. Fiery redhead from the South Side. Met her at a blues bar on Halsted. We married young. Too young maybe. But it felt right, her laughing at my dumb jokes. Me bringing home takeout from Giordano's on Fridays. She worked as a nurse at Cook County, pulling doubles to pay off her student loans. We were scraping by, but happy. Until Ethan's promotion party last fall. I remember the champagne flutes clinking, the jazz quartet in the corner of that swanky loft in the Loop. Ethan pulled me aside, eyes gleaming like he'd just hit the lottery. Marley? Man, I've got an opportunity. Big one. But I need your skills. He laid it out. Vanguard was cooking the books, denying claims on high-risk patients to boost stock prices. A whistleblower leak could tank the company. But if we buried it, hacked the whistleblower's files, planted malware to discredit him, we'd both walk away rich. 10 mil split. Brother. And Lena? She could quit those shifts, start that clinic she's always talking about. I laughed it off at first. Ethan, that's fraud. Felony territory. but he leaned in, breath hot with scotch. Come on. It's not like your Robin Hood. This is survival. Think of your mom. Next flare up. And you're back to square one. He knew my weak spot. And damn it, the money. It sang. Lena had been distant lately, talking divorce over whispers about growing apart. Maybe this would fix us. Fix everything. I caved. Late one night in my home office, while Lena slept upstairs, I did it. Breached the whistleblower's cloud drive, an old ER doc named Harlan Voss. Good guy who'd treated Mom pro bono once. Erased his evidence, seeded his accounts with bogus offshore transfers. By dawn, the story died. Vanguard stock rebounded 15%. Ethan got a corner office and a corner penthouse on Lakeshore Drive. Me? A bonus, check for $50K, and a vague promise of more. But promises in Chicago are like snow in July, gone by noon. 2 weeks later, the feds knocked. Not for the whistleblower hack, but for Mom's treatment. Somehow, the trail led back to me. Embezzlement from corporate funds, they said. Flashing warrants. Ethan swore he'd handle it, but his lawyer was nowhere. Lena packed a bag that night, eyes cold as Lake Michigan in January. I can't be married to a criminal. Marley. It's over. She left for her sisters in Milwaukee. Radio silence after that. Then Mom's text came. The one that gutted me worse than any indictment. Marley, the police called. They say you stole from me. I didn't raise you to be a thief. Don't call or come, it's over. Over. After everything. I sat on the edge of our bed, her bed now, since Dad left, and typed back. Mom, it wasn't theft. It was love. And if it's over, then so is my mercy for the bastards who framed me. Hit send. Deleted the thread. That was the last she heard from me. Or thought she did. Jail was hell, but brief. Federal holding in the Metro South Detention Center. Orange jumpsuit itching like regret. Ethan visited once. All polished sympathy. Hang tight, buddy. I'll pull strings. Lies. He was the one who'd flipped the script, fed the feds my IP logs from the whistleblower job, twisted it to look like I'd skimmed for Mom. Why? Because in the chaos, he'd uncovered my hack for her treatment. Blackmail material. You cover my ass on the books, he'd hissed in that visit. Or I bury you. But I was already buried. That's when the swap happened. Not fate. Not magic, science gone rogue. Vanguard had a dirty secret, a black budget project called Echo Chamber, tucked in a warehouse lab off Ashland Avenue. Brain-computer interface, trials, funded by DARPA cutouts, promising mind uploads for enhanced interrogation. Ethan, ever the opportunist, volunteered me as a test subject. Guilty plea. Reduced sentence, he sold it. Desperate. I signed. Strapped to a gurney under fluorescent buzz. Electrodes kissing my temples. They flipped the switch. Pain first, like lightning forking through my skull. Then nothing. Blackness. Vast as the void. When I woke, I wasn't in my cell. I was in a king-sized bed, silk sheets tangling around legs too long, too toned. Mirror across the room showed a stranger, chiseled jaw, salt and pepper hair, eyes like polished obsidian. Victor Hale, Vanguard CEO. The puppet master who'd greenlit the fraud, the one Ethan answered to. Somehow, the swap glitched, My consciousness dumped into Hale's body during a calibration session Ethan had scheduled for him. Hale's mind? Lost in the ether. Or maybe frying in my old shell down in Gen Pop. I touched my new face, his face, and laughed. A deep baritone rumble that echoed off marble walls.
Power.
Finally. Ethan's betrayal ran deeper than I knew. He'd been Hale's mole, feeding me crumbs to fatten me for the fall.
But now?
I was the wolf in the henhouse. First move, access Hale's encrypted drive. Password? Child's Play, his mistress's birthday. Cross-referenced from expense reports. Files spilled open, ledgers showing millions siphoned to offshore shells. Voss's whistleblower docs intact as leverage. And the kicker, proof Ethan had doctored Mom's hack trail, pinning it on me to cover his own skim from the fraud pot. Rage boiled, but I played it cool. Slipped into Hale's routine, black Mercedes to the Loop Tower. Board meetings where suits nodded like bobbleheads. Ethan cornered me in the exec washroom that afternoon. Ty askew. Victor, you look
off.
Everything good? I smiled Hale's crocodile smile. Peachy.
Ethan.
Just tying up loose ends. That night. From Hale's penthouse overlooking the Sears Tower, Willis. Whatever, I drafted the email. Attachment, Voss's original files. Time-stamped and notarized, routed through a Tor node to the Chicago Tribune and SEC. CC, Ethan's personal Gmail. With a note. Brother, remember Mom? This is for her. By morning, Vanguard was hemorrhaging. Stock down 30%. FBI vans double-parked outside. Ethan called in a panic. Victor. What the hell? But I let it ring. Sipping Hale's single malt scotch. Revenge tasted like aged oak and ash. But this was just the opener. Hale's empire hid darker skeletons. And with his body, I dig them all up. The boardroom smelled like stale coffee and desperation, the kind that clings to overpriced cologne. I sat at the head of the glass table, Victor's throne, watching the vultures circle. Suits from New York and D.C., all dialing crisis PR firms, blaming rogue elements like they hadn't signed off on the fraud themselves. Ethan paced by the windows, phone glued to his ear, barking at lawyers. He looked smaller now, the golden boy tarnished, sweat beading on his forehead like dew on a corpse. Victor, he snapped, finally hanging up. This leak, it's suicide. We need to spin it. Say it's a hack from competitors. I leaned back, crossing Hale's manicured hands. His fingers were thicker than mine, ringed with a Patek Philippe that could buy Mom a new house. Spin?
Ethan.
This is biblical. The SEC's got Voss's originals. Your originals. His eyes widened, that boyish panic flashing, the same look when we got caught boosting smokes from the corner store at 14. Me? Victor. I cut him off with a raised palm, Hale's voice dripping authority. Save it. I know about the skim. The Cayman's account, the ghost LLCs. You think I don't audit my own shadows?
Lie.
But it landed like a gut punch. He deflated, slumping into a chair. It was for the family.
Vic.
Dad's medical bills. The estate taxes. You said cut corners. Classic Ethan. Always the victim. Twisting the knife back on you.
But I saw through it now.
He'd betrayed me not just for cash, but to climb Hale's ladder, stepping on my neck as the rung. The meeting dragged. Decisions barked, suspend trading, lawyer up, scapegoat a dead intern. I nodded along, playing the unflappable CEO. But inside, Marley's fire burned. This body, it was a drug. Hale's neural pathways fired sharper. Memories bleeding in like static. Boardroom coups. Mistresses in the Hamptons. A yacht christened with champagne and cocaine. And darker, the Echo Chamber Project. Not just DARPA plaything, but a tool for corporate espionage. Mind swaps to plant ideas in rivals' heads. Erase regrets from exec suicides. I'd been guinea pig number 47. Hale had greenlit it all. Testing on disposables like me, low-level hacks with rap sheets. After the suits filed out, Ethan lingered, eyes pleading. We fixed this together. Like always. Remember Manila? That deal in '09.
Manila.
The one where he talked me into faking expense reports for a bribe to a Filipino official. We laughed about it later. Over San Miguel's. Brothers. Yeah, I said softly. I remember. Then, casual as checking email, tell me about Marley Hayes. He froze. Then chuckled nervously. The fall guy? Small fry.
Vic.
Embezzled for his dying mom. Pathetic. Right? Cops have him cooling in county. If only he knew. I probed deeper. Hale's charisma pulling confessions like gravity. Ethan spilled how he discovered my hack for mom via a routine audit. Saw the opportunity. Framed him clean, IP spoof. Forged logs. Guy took the plea like a chump. Why dredge it up now? Because it's personal. You snake. But I smiled. Loose ends.
Ethan.
Always tie them. That night, in Hale's walk-in closet, rows of Tom Ford suits like armor, I plotted. The swap wasn't stable. Headaches throbbed at the temples. Visions flickering. My old body in a straitjacket. Sedated in a psych ward. Hale's essence clawing for control. Time was short. I needed proof. Not just of the fraud, but the betrayal's root. Hale's safe. Biometrically locked. Yielded a USB drive. Project Echo contingencies. Files on swaps gone wrong. Subjects driven mad. Bodies rejected like bad organs. And one name, Dr. Elena Voss. Harlan's daughter. The whistleblower's kid. A neuroscientist poached for Echo after her dad's suicide. Elena. Lena's face flashed, red hair. Green eyes.
No. Couldn't be.
But the photo matched, Dr. Elena Voss Hayes. Married to one Marley Hayes. My wife. The pieces slammed together like a car wreck. Lena wasn't just a nurse. She'd been moonlighting in Black Ops. Recruited after med school for her psych background. Our marriage? A setup. Ethan introduced us at that blues bar, staged. To get close. Monitor me. She'd known about the hacks from day one. Fed intel to Ethan. The distance. The divorce talk. Cover for when the frame job hit. I retched into Hale's marble sink. Scotch burning back up. Betrayal didn't cut deep. It excavated. Hollowed you out. Mom's text echoed. It's over. Now I saw the strings. Lena had probably drafted it. Her nurse's empathy twisted into a blade. They'd all played me. Ethan the brother. Lena the love. Hale the godfather. For what? Vanguard's immortality project. Uploading exec minds to evade death and taxes. I needed to see her. Risky. But the pull was magnetic. Dressed in Hale's cashmere overcoat, I drove the Bentley south to Pilsen. The old neighborhood where Ticarius glowed like beacons and murals wept color onto brick. Her sister's place, A walk-up on 18th Street. Virgin of Guadalupe shrine flickering in the window. I parked across the street. Shadows my ally. Lights on in the living room. Through the blinds, Lena, curled on the couch, scrolling her phone. She looked smaller, fragile, but I knew better. Viper and Scrubs. I texted from Hale's burner, number she'd never seen. We need to talk. About Marley. Now. Minutes ticked. Then, who is this? Someone who knows your secrets. Balboa Park. 30 minutes. The park was neutral ground, sodium lamps pooling orange on cracked paths. I waited on a bench, breath fogging the December chill. Footsteps, her silhouette emerging. Coat hugged tight, eyes scanning like prey. Victor Hale, she breathed, stopping short. What the hell do you want? Up close. The wedding band glinted, still wearing it. Mockery? I stood. Hale's height looming. Marley sends his regards. Her face strained, eyes darting for escape. He's in jail. You can't. I stepped closer, voice low. Look at me, Lena. Really look. She did, then gasped, hand to mouth. Recognition? Or the swap's glitch? Some echo bleeding through? You're insane. Stay away, but I grabbed her wrist, gentle but firm. The clinic. The one you wanted to start? It was my money. Lena. The hacks. The bonuses. All for you. Lies woven with truth. She yanked free, tears welling. I tried to stop it.
Ethan.
He forced me. Said it'd protect us.
Protect.
The word soured. From what? Me? Silence. Then, from Hale. Echo. He was going to swap you anyway, test subject for his loyalty serum. I married you to get close. To sabotage from inside. But I fell. God. Marley. I fell. Twist one, love. Or the best lie yet. I wanted to believe. But Marley's scars ran too deep. Prove it. Help me end him. Her.
Me. Us.
She nodded, trembling.
The lab.
Off Ashland. Override codes in my phone. We parted like ghosts. Her heading home, me to the Bentley. But as I drove, doubt gnawed. Was she flipping sides? Or baiting the trap? Hale's memories whispered. Elena Voss. The project's architect. She designed the swap protocols. If anyone could reverse it, or weaponize it, it was her. Back in the penthouse, I uploaded her codes to a dark web drop, insurance.
Then.
The real play, convene an emergency board call. Ethan's panic peaked when I announced it. We're accelerating Echo, I said, voice steady. Full deployment. Swap the board into backups, immortality clauses activate. Gasps. Then greed ignited. They bought it. Blind to the Trojan. Malware in the link. Dumping their sins to the cloud. By dawn, the FBI had more than Voss, they had the cabal. Ethan cornered me again.
Wild-eyed. Vic.
This is nuts. Echoes unstable, subjects fry. Then fry with them, I murmured. He lunged fists. Raw betrayal, but Hale's body was a machine. I sidestepped, drove an elbow into his gut. He crumpled, wheezing. Why, brother? Because you killed me first. Zip-tied him to a chair with Hale's silk ties. I monologued Marley style. No filter. The hacks.
Mom. Lena's web.
His denials crumbled to sobs. I did it for us. The top. Power.
Power.
The American dream. Rotten core. I left him there, gag in place, dialing 911 from a blocker. Intruder at the penthouse. Shots fired. Let the cops sort the mess. As sirens wailed distant, I slipped out, heading south. To the lab. To Lena. To the endgame. The Ashland warehouse loomed like a forgotten relic, chain link rattling in the wind off the L tracks. Snow flurries danced under street lamps, turning the loading dock into a ghost stage. I killed the Bentley's engine 2 blocks out, too conspicuous, and hoofed it. Hale's loafers crunching slush. The swap's glitches ramped up, vertigo waves. Flashes of my old hands typing code. Hale's voice narrating mergers like bedtime stories. My head pounded, a migraine crown. If I didn't reverse this soon, I'd be drooling in a padded room. Marley reduced to echo. Lena waited in the shadows by the side door, breath clouding like smoke signals. You came. No warmth. Just wariness. She punched her code into the keypad, and the lock buzzed green. Inside, sterile hum of servers. Air thick with ozone and antiseptic. Echo chambers stretched like a mad scientist's wet dream, gurneys lined with 4 rigs. Walls of monitors pulsing brainwave fractals, a central pod like a sarcophagus from a bad sci-fi flick. This way, she whispered, leading to the control booth. Her scrubs swapped for jeans and a hoodie, Pilsen casual. But the lanyard screamed inside her. The overrides will boot the system. But Hale's failsafes. They're biometric. You're his retina and vein scan. I nodded, but suspicion coiled. You built this cage. Lena. Why free me now? She paused, fingers hovering over keys. Because I was wrong. About everything. Ethan promised it'd be ethical, mind enhancements for trauma patients. But Hale twisted it. When he targeted you, I couldn't stop it. The marriage was real. Marley. At first.
Real.
The word hung, fragile as frost. I wanted to throttle the truth out, but time ticked. Guards patrolled the perimeter, Vanguard rent-a-cops, armed with tasers and egos. We had minutes. She worked the console, screens blooming with code. My old Python scripts, ironically, laced the back door she'd cribbed from my laptop during our happy days. Initiating purge, she murmured. Alarms should blare, but silence held, her hack holding. We moved to the pod, the heart. Inside, neural harness, electrodes like silver spiders. Strap in, she said. It'll pull your essence back, realign the matrices. Hale's body rebelled, muscles locking as I lay down. Memories surged, Mom's chemo chair, Ethan's toast at the wedding, the Fed's cuffs snapping cold. Lena. If this is a play, it's not. Her eyes met mine green, haunted. I love you.
Still.
She hit enter. Agony again. White-hot forks in the gray matter. Visions cascaded, Hale's life unspooling, childhood in Greenwich. Boarding schools. First kill, not literal. But a rival exec suicided, via bad intel. Then mine bleeding back. Pilsen streets. Mom's laugh over pierogies. Lena's first kiss tasting like gin and promise. The pod word. Metrics spiking, Sync at 47%, 62%, 89%. A shadow loomed in the booth window. Ethan. Escaped or tipped.
No, worse.
Hale's security chief. A brick wall named Kowalski. Magnum drawn.
Dr. Voss.
Step away. He burst in. Boot thumping linoleum. Lena froze. Hands up. It's a calibration.
Stan.
Routine. Lies smooth as silk. He wasn't buying, radio crackled. Boss? We've got a breach. Feds inbound. The purge hit 95%. I thrashed. Hale's bulk straining straps. Kowalski advanced. Gun on Lena. Hale's orders, no loose ends. Controversial decision 1. I could let her take the bullet. Collateral for my freedom. Betrayals calculus. But Marley's heart, stupid, stubborn, screamed no. With a roar that split my skull, I snapped a restraint, Hale's gym rat strength surging. Lunged, tackling Kowalski like a Bears linebacker. Gun skittered. My fist connected, crunch of nose cartilage. He swung wild, badge edge slicing my cheek, but I pinned him, knee to throat. For Mom, I growled, Hale's timbre thunder. Lena scrambled for the gun, but he bucked, throwing me. Shots cracked, wild, pinging consoles. Sparks flew, monitors dying in cascades. The pod overloaded, 100%, critical. Energy arced, blue lightning kissing the air. It yanked me, us, into the void. Sensations flipped, weight shifting, bones resizing, skin tightening like a glove, too small. I gasped awake on the floor, my old frame aching, familiar scars itching. Marley again. Across the room, Hale's body, convulsing, eyes wild with re-entry. But the chief? Down. Chest blooming red, not for my hit, but a stray ricochet. Lena knelt by him. Futile compressions. Tears mixing with blood. You shot him, she sobbed. Hands crimson.
Me?
No, her pull for the gun. Panic hit. Manslaughter. Accessory. The spiral. Controversial decision 2. Run. Leave her to the wolves. She'd lied before. But as sirens wailed closer, feds. Finally, I pulled her up. We finish this. Together. Or die trying. We dragged Kowalski's corpse to a vent, dark, industrial, shoving him in like yesterday's trash. Evidence erased? Maybe. Mercy?
None.
Out the back. Into the flurries. My old Corolla waiting, keys stashed pre-swap. Lena drove. White-knuckled. Heading west to Mom's in Oak Park. Why there, she asked. Loose ends, I echoed Ethan's line. The house was dark. Curtains drawn. Mom's Prius in the drive.
Snow-dusted.
I knocked soft, Marley's knock. 3 raps like our secret code. Door cracked. Chain rattling. Her face, gaunt. Wary. Chemo's ghost lingering. Marley, disbelief. Then recoil. The police said, Mom, it's me. All of it. I spilled, the frame, the swap, Ethan's rot. Lena hung back.
Shadow.
Mom's eyes flicked, recognition. Then steel. And her? The wife who abandoned you. Lena stepped forward. Mrs. Hayes. Eye slap. Mom's palm cracked across her cheek. Old lady force but fierce. You used my boy.
Get out.
Lena reeled, but stayed. I can fix it. The files, proof you're innocent. We talked till dawn. Coffee brewing bitter. Mom softened, fractionally, stories of Dad's lies. Her own buried pains. Men like Ethan. They take. But the twist nod. Hale's memories included Mom. A consult. Years back, her at Vanguard. Low-level clerk. Denied a claim for Dad's heart attack. She'd quit.
Broken.
Hale's indifference. The seed. Was my hack karma? Or cycle? Phone buzzed. News alerts. Vanguard imploding. Arrests rolling. Ethan in cuffs. Board scattering like roaches. Hale's body? Found in the pod. Malfunction.
Me?
Cleared. Voss files vindicating. But the lab shootout leaked anonymous tip. Probably Lena's guilt. Manhunt brewing. Controversial decision 3. Turn ourselves in. Spin the self-defense. Or vanish. New lives on the skimmed cash. Mom chose. Fight. Marley. For the truth. We drove to the federal building. Hands up. Statements spilling. Interrogations dragged. Polygraphs beeping lies. Lawyers circling. Lena cracked first. Full confession. Echoes horrors. Hale's ghost? Buried in bureaucracy. Project scrapped.
Ethan?
Facing 40. Singing to shave time. He texted from lockup. Brother. Forgive. I deleted.
Blocked.
No mercy left. But the real storm brewed at home. Mom's remission? Fragile. A follow-up scan showed shadows. And Lena's plea, let me help. Redeem. Bedside vigils. Her hands on Mom's, tentative peace.
Me?
Wary, but thawing. America's grace, second chances, or suckers' bets. Oak Park spring thawed slow, like a hangover from winter's bender. Mom's house, Frank Lloyd Wright knockoff. All angles and light, filled with the beep of monitors and the scent of hospital jello. Her shadows were Mets, false alarm. But it shook us. Chemo's echo.
The doc said.
I took leave from Vanguard, irony. Back as a consultant, restructuring the very beast that chewed me. Payback and spreadsheets, auditing the fraud, clawing back pennies for victims like Voss. Lena stayed, ghosting the edges. Not wife. Not yet, divorce papers unsigned. But she cooked pozole on Sundays. Sat vigil with Mom over Lifetime movies. Forgive me, she'd whisper nights. My old bed creaking under us. Sex was tentative. Reconnection laced with doubt. Her body familiar, but her secret scarred. The marriage was op, she'd admit, tracing my chest. But the love, real as it got. I believed. Mostly. Controversial decision 4. Trust the viper. Or cut the head. Ethan's trial dominated the trib. Vanguard VP's fall from grace. Front page mugshot. Hollow cheeks. He pled out. 20 years in Supermax, Florence. ADX. The Alcatraz of the plains. I testified. Voice steady. The frame. The Brotherhood's rot. Cross-exam. Mr. Hayes. Motive for perjury? Grudge over a woman. Winking at Lena in the gallery. Jurors murmured. Controversy brewed. Chicago loved its scandals. Tabloids dubbing me the swapped Avenger, half-truth. All hype. Talk shows called. I declined. Privacy was my new luxury. But Hale lingered. A specter in the net. Post-swap autopsies leaked. Brain liquefied. Neural pathways scorched. DARPA buried it under classified mishap, but whispers spread, conspiracy forums buzzing about mind control. Elite uploads. One night, scrolling dark web, I found it, a forum thread. Echo survivors. Posts from glitch cases, people waking in wrong skins, piecing fractured lives. One handle, retina ghost. Profile pic, green eyes, red hair. Lena? Confrontation hit like a summer squall. She was in the kitchen, chopping cilantro. Radio crooning Stevie Wonder. Who's retina ghost? I dropped it flat. Knife paused, then resumed. A ghost. Marley. Old alias from grad school. Bull. I grabbed her phone, passcode my birthday. Cute touch. Dive in. Encrypted chats. Dates poster split. Subject 47 stable. Hail integration 92%. Recommend termination. To whom? A ghost account. Oracle Prime. Hail's private SIG. You are running the swap. Live. Voice cracked Marley's.
Raw.
She sagged against the counter, tears salting the cutting board. To save you. Hale wanted your mind wiped. Disloyal element. I rerouted. Dumped you into him instead. Risky.
But
It worked. Worked? I was a pawn in her chess. And Kowalski? The shot. Accident. But I hacked the cams. Blamed a guard. Layers peeled. Endless. Betrayals onion. Each skin stinging. I stormed out. Into Oak Park's genteel streets. Bungalows whispering suburbia lies. Mom found me on the porch swing. Pabst in hand. She told me. Last week. Calm as lake glass. Everything. Betrayal squared. And you kept it? Mom sighed. Old hands folding mine. Secrets bury us.
kid.
But love, it digs graves or gardens. Your call. Wisdom from the woman who'd endured Dad's flings. My hacks. The cancer. Controversial decision 5. Exile them both. Or rebuild on ruins. Trials end brought catharsis.
Ethan.
Shackled. Met my eyes across the courtroom. I did it for power. Marley. The American way, climb or die. Judge's gavel fell, guilty. As marshals hauled him, he mouthed, sorry, brother. Too late.
Outside.
Protesters clashed, Wall Street wolves versus patient advocates. Signs screaming, justice or just us? I slipped through, Lena waiting by the L. Go, I said. She nodded, boarding northbound. No kiss. No goodbye. Just gone. Summer scorched in. Mom stronger. Tending her victory garden, tomatoes fat as softballs. I dove into work. Exposing Vanguard's tendrils. Bribes to aldermen. Claim denials rigged by AI. Whistleblower now. Full circle. But the glitches persisted. Hale's echoes. Cravings for caviar. Urges to crush rivals. Therapy? A shrink in the Gold Coast. Billing $300 per hour. Dissociative identity, she diagnosed. Trauma's gift. Pills dulled it. But nights. I dreamed swaps. Mom young again. Dad redeemed. Ethan in my skin. Begging mercy. Twist brewed in autumn leaves. A package arrived, no sender. Brown wrap. Inside, USB drive. Handwritten note. Truth reverses.
Eh?
Lena. Plugged in, Echo's master logs. Not just my swap, Hale's contingency, a chain. He'd prepped backups. Mine's queued like flights. One file, Subject 01 Hayes. Margaret.
Mom.
Recruited post-dad's death. Her clerk, gigafront for beta tests. Neural mapping for pain suppression, cancer trials. Black budget. She'd volunteered. To spare me the burden. My miracle, she'd said. But it was hers, enduring probes, erasing memories, all to fund my college. The secret chiseled deep. Mom. The original ghost. She'd hacked nothing. I'd echoed her. The frame? Hale's revenge for her quitting. Ethan the tool. I confronted her over pot roast. Drive trembling. Why? Tears carved rivers. Cancer came early. Marley. Echo promised relief. Mind over matter. But Hale. He twisted it. When you hacked for me, I saw my boy. Fighting like I couldn't. I took the fall in silence. To protect you.
Protect.
The cycle closed. Rage redirected. Not at her. But the machine. I leaked the logs. NYT exclusive. CEO's mind heist. Widows and workers as lab rats. Fallout. Congressional hearings. Vanguard's carcass picked clean. Mom testified. Frail but fierce. We were disposables in their dream. Applause thundered. She blushed like a girl. Lena resurfaced in the gallery. Incognito, hat.
Shades.
Post-hearing. Coffee at a diner off Michigan Avenue. I knew about your mom. Oracle Prime was me. Post-swap, guiding you. Another layer. Why not tell? You needed to rage first. Heel raw. We talked till closing. Bridges tentative. Bed that night. Hers. A walk-up in Wicker Park. Passion reignited. Controversial, forgiving the architect of my hell. But power's shadow loomed. Hale's network, remnants. Loyalists. A car tail on the Dan Ryan. Black SUV. Warning shot, tires slashed in my garage. They wanted the logs back. Or blood. I armed up, legal Glock. Range time in Indiana. Lena trained me, Krav Maga holds. Neural weak points from Echo.
Fight smart, she said.
Partners now. Equals. Climax brewed in November chill. Tip. Ex-board member. Hold in a Gold Coast safe house. Plotting counterleak. Smear mom is willing. We hit it pre-dawn. Me through the alley. Lena on overwatch. Breach. Door kicked. Shadows dancing. He waited, silencer raised. Hayes. Knew me. Shots traded, plaster dust. Acrid. I winged him. Lena zip-tying. Interrogation. Names spilled. A cabal in D.C. Hale Levs in fragments. Backups activated. Twist 2. Immortality's curse. Hale's mind. Splintered across servers. Puppeteering drones. The ultimate power. Ghost in the machine. Thanksgiving frost etched the windows of Mom's bungalow. Turkey aromas warring with a metallic tang of fear. We gathered, me.
Mom.
Lena. A fragile trio against the storm. Voss joined via Zoom from witness protection, grizzled. Grateful. You avenged my Harlan. Son. His files had cracked the case wide. But Hale's ghost clawed back. News looped. Corporate undead?
I exik owns net.
Pundits debated, conspiracy or code glitch. America lapped it up. Twitter ablaze with echo revenge. The cabal struck at dawn. Black Friday, irony. Capitalism's holiday. Black vans screeched up, goons in tactical spilling out like spilled ink. Mom's scream yanked me awake. Marley, downstairs. Chaos, glass shattering. Lena barricading the kitchen with the island. I snatched the Glock. Heart hammering Marley's rhythm. First shot, through the front door, dropping the breacher. Feds, drop it, bluff. But it stalled. They poured in 5. Masked, suppressed fire stitching the walls. I dove behind the couch. Returning lead, pop pop. Hale's steady hand guiding.
One down.
Thigh hit. Howling. Lena flanked from the pantry. Her Beretta barking, echo precision. Headshot clean. Controversial decision 6. Kill or capture. We chose survival. Bodies piling like cordwood.
Mom.
Upstairs. Clutched her rosary, prayers in Polish. Fierce as armor. Sirens finally wailed. Neighbors. Nosy as ever. Cops swarmed. Feds trailing, suits with badges. Hauling the wounded. Interrogations in a loop hotel. Cabal IDs traced to Hale's shells. Ex-CIA. Tech bros. The deep state light. He promised eternity. One gasped.
Cuffed.
Uploads for the faithful. But Hale's core? A server farm in Nevada. DARPA's blind eye. We hit it airlifted, government bird. Black Ops courtesy Voss's pull. Lena piloted the raid. Me. Her. A SEAL team in desert camis. The bunker hummed subterranean. Aircon chilled to bone. Defenses. Laser grids. Auto turrets. Hale's paranoia coded deep. We breached hot. Flashbangs popping. Screams echoing. Core room. Racks blinking like fireflies. Central node pulsing. A cryopod. Hale's backup flesh suspended. Tubes snaking. He woke as we entered. Eyes fluttering. Voice synthesized. Marley. My vessel. Screen flickered. His face mosaic of glitches. You stole my life. No, reclaimed. Lena Jackton. Overrides flying. Purge initiating. He laughed.
Digital rasp.
Too late. I've seeded you, all of you. Visions hit. Uploads in our skulls. Subtle. Echoes legacy. Minds hijacked for the elite. Climax. The choice. Lena's finger hovered. Delete. End him. But Hale whispered secrets. Mom's full map. Cancer cure buried in the code. Neural rewrite. Pain erased. Take it. For her. Gift or Trojan. Controversial decision 7. Mercy for the monster. Or oblivion. I nodded. Download. Data flooded. Algorithms. Protocols. Then, now end it. She hit delete. Servers were down. Lights dimming to red. Hale's pod flatlined. Bio-alarm wailing. We exfiltrated as bunker seals hissed shut. Sand swallowing the tomb. Back in Chicago. Winter broke, sun slicing clouds. Mom's treatment, experimental, echo-derived. Remission held. Stronger. My miracle squared, she teased. Hugging Lena like a daughter. Us. Rebuilt. Wedding redo, small. Pills in church. Blues band at the reception. Vows raw. Through swaps and shadows. I choose you. Honeymoon in Door County. Cherry blossoms and lake winds. But the debate lingered. Hero or villain? Forums raged. Did I steal a life? Or justice? Pundit split. Redemption arc or hubris? Ethan wrote from Supermax. Parole board sympathy play. Brother, let me rot knowing you rose. I burned the letter. No bridges there. Voss started a foundation, patient rights, Anticorp. Mom volunteered. Fierce advocate.
Me?
Quiet life, actuary still. But moonlighting code for good. Glitches faded. Hail's echoes silenced. But nights. I wonder, is this me? Whole or mosaic? Forever swapped? Twist final. The reversal. One dawn. Lena's phone buzzes, anonymous. Echo 2.0 live. Join or perish. Her eyes meet mine green. Knowing. She deletes. But the seed? Planted. Power never dies, it evolves. In America's grind, revenge is an end, its cycle. We fight on, or become the ghosts. And Mom? She texts, proud.
Kid.
But next time, hack the world fair and square. Laughter echoes. Over? Never. Just beginning.